Imagine this, you did your bachelor's from a tier 2 college in India, worked for 2 years at a solid MNC and built a great resume. And then one day it hits you, same job, no growth, you're done. So you decide to go to the USA, do a master's and start afresh. And you think 2 years of work experience, that's got to count for something in the US job market, right? Well, you're in some delusion because on a recruiter's screen, that experience barely registers. Meanwhile, a kid who flew straight to the US after undergrad, picked the right master's program and did an 8-month internship during college, they are getting called first almost every time. Let's imagine a versus situation. Imagine being a high school kid who just passed his 12th and who aspires to go to the USA to do his bachelor's and spent almost a crore doing so and still not getting any jobs. That's the reality of studying abroad, and in today's video we are breaking down exactly why and what you can actually do about it. Hi, my name is Hari, and at AdmitAbroad we have helped hundreds of students get into their dream universities across the world. So if you're planning to study abroad, consider subscribing. It will genuinely help you make better decisions. But before the strategy, you need to understand what market you're actually walking into, because it's not the same market your cousins or seniors navigated 3-4 years ago. In 2025 alone, US employers let go of more than 1.2 million workers, 50% higher than the year before. Tech, retail, government, telecom, nothing was spared. Unemployment climbed to 4.6%, highest since 2021. What that means for you is simple. Far more people chasing the same number of jobs. Recruiters are having the time of their lives. For them, it's like being served with the great Indian special deluxe thali, where they'll get to choose what they want and have it over and over again. And right now, what they want is someone who can deliver from day one itself with no ramp up and hand holding required, ideally with 2 to 3 years of work experience in that specific role. So where does that leave you as a fresher or a recent grad? That's exactly what we are getting into. 1 to 2 years of work experience in India does not outweigh 8 months of an internship or co-op done in the US or any country. Not because Indian experience is bad, but because a recruiter hiring locally wants someone who has already operated in that work culture, someone who understands the pace, the communication style, the professional expectations, and who won't need 6 months just to find their footing. Your local internship or co-op gives them that confidence. Your years of experience back home, however strong, do not. This is the most important thing to internalize before you send out a single application. Your local experience is your most valuable asset. If you don't have it yet, getting it is your number one job right now. Where you begin depends upon which of these three situations you are actually in. If you flew abroad after your 12th standard for your bachelor's, you're starting from zero. No work experience, no local credibility, no network. Your only real advantage is time. Every summer, every semester break is an opportunity. Use it to find internships aggressively. Don't wait for a final year to start thinking about this. If you did your bachelor's in India and then came abroad for your master's, you have academic depth but no real work experience. The co-op or internship in your program isn't optional. It's the entire point. Treat it like your most important subject. If you did your bachelor's in India, built real work experience there, and then came abroad for your master's, you have the strongest foundation. But don't make the mistake of over-relying on your Indian experience when applying abroad. Use it to show depth in your field, not a substitute for local work experience, because recruiters don't see it that way. There are 4 pillars, 4 things that you need to do to increase your chances of getting an internship or a full-time role in your country. Let's go through them one by one. But first, let's talk about a decision that comes before all of it. One that most students get wrong even before they land: choosing the right program at the right university. Get this wrong and the other 4 become significantly harder. Get this right and you have already done half the work. Choose a program in a field where there's actual demand. Every country publishes its skill shortage lists, occupations where employers can't find enough qualified people. Australia has its skills in demand list. Canada has its express entry draws that prioritize specific occupations. The UK has shortage occupation list. The US has its H1B cap exempt roles and high demand fields. These lists exist and they are public. If the field you're entering is in one of these lists, your path to a job and eventually to work authorization becomes meaningfully easier. If it isn't, you're fighting a harder battle from day one. Choose a program that has a co-op or work placement built into the structure of the degree, not as an optional add-on. This is non-negotiable if you're going in with no local work experience. A mandatory co-op means you'll graduate with a local work experience already in your resume. This changes everything and we'll get into exactly why when we'll hit pillar number 2. Pay attention to where the university is located. A supply chain degree in a city with no logistics industry nearby is a problem. A finance degree with no financial district nearby is a problem. Internships, networking events, industry connections, they are all geography dependent. Pick a university that sits inside or close to the industry that you want to work in, not just a university with a good ranking. These 3 decisions are made even before you fill out a single application. Most students make them based purely on ranking, or worse, based on where their friends are going. That's how you'll end up in the right country with the wrong setup. Now, the pillars. Your resume is not your autobiography. It's a 15-second pitch to someone who has 200 other profiles to get through. Keep it to one page, 500 to 600 words max, so that it's immediately scannable. Bold your numbers. If you have improved something by 30%, say 30%. If you managed a team of 5, say 5. Numbers are what catches the recruiter's eye first. Keep your skills and tools section clean and separate. Don't bury your technical stack inside a bullet point. One common mistake we see students make is writing a resume and sending it to 50 job applications unchanged. Your resume needs to speak to a specific role you're applying for. You don't need a full rewrite every time, but the keywords, framing, and projects need to match the profile you're applying for. If you don't have local work experience yet, projects are what will fill the gap. But wait before you pause the video to go build some generic projects. If you are targeting data analyst roles, build something with real messy data. If you're targeting product management roles, do a proper case study on a product you actually use. Targeting software or data science, build with AI tools, RAG pipelines, or AI agents. Something that shows you know where the industry is heading right now. The project needs to prove you can do the job even if no one has paid you to do it yet. Everything on your resume should point in the right direction. A machine learning model won't carry weight on a business analyst application unless you can clearly connect it to a business outcome. Most people destroy their own chances here without realizing. The instinct is to go wide. More titles, more companies, higher probability. The logic works for internships. It completely backfires for full-time roles. For full-time roles, limit yourself to 2, maximum 3 job titles. Titles that directly match your experience, your skills, your projects, not the ones you think you could grow into. The reason is simple. A recruiter hiring for a role that pays $150,000 is not experimenting. They want the exact profile for the exact role. If your resume doesn't clearly signal I have done this before, you're not getting that call. For internships, the bar is lower. 5 to 6 related titles within the same domain is fine, but even there stay within the same pool. Business analyst, data analyst, operations analyst, those can coexist. But product manager and software engineer, those are two different games. You can't play both at the same time and win at either. If you want to switch to a completely different career track, this is not the right time or market to attempt it. Not if you want a job in the next 6 months. If you still want to take a shot at pivoting, cap it at 20%. Put 80% of your efforts into the roles you actually already have proof for. Don't let the optimistic 20% eat the practical 80%. Networking is not what most people think it is. Start with your alumni, people who share your university, your undergrad college, or your background. They are the most likely to respond, not out of charity, out of commonality. Humans respond to people who are like them. Go deeper and find alumni who are currently in the role that you are targeting. Connect with them on LinkedIn. State your ask in the connection request itself. Don't connect first and figure out what to say later. When someone accepts your request and has no idea why you reached out, the conversation goes nowhere. Tell them immediately what you're looking for, why you reached out to them specifically, and what you're asking for. The right ask is small and specific. Something like, hi, I'm also a student of so-and-so university, currently doing my master's here. I'm targeting a so-and-so role and came across your profile. Would like to have a 15-minute coffee chat just to understand what your day-to-day tasks and how I can better my position for it. That's it. If they say yes to the coffee chat, don't ask them to review your resume. AI does that better. Ask what's really happening in the industry right now. Ask what tools or projects they'd recommend building. Ask how they move from one role to another. Have a real conversation and try to learn things that you otherwise can't Google. Aim for 3 to 4 such coffee chats every week. Thursdays and Fridays are the days when people tend to have the highest response rates because people are more accessible towards the end of the week. Do this for a year and a half consistently. Networking built over time turns into referrals, endorsements, and warm intros when you actually need them. Once you have the foundation in place, there are 4 specific buckets that increase your chances of getting lucky. Think of them literally as 4 buckets. The more you fill each one of them, the better your overall odds. Bucket number 1, normal applications. The standard apply on the portal route. Necessary but not sufficient on its own. Bucket number 2, referrals. This works best if you have 2 to 3 or more years of work experience because you have something concrete to sell. Before asking for a referral, make sure that your profile is at least a 50 to 70% match with the job description because that's the threshold where a referral actually adds leverage. Reach out to 12 to 15 people in the same company, not 1 or 2. A referral is a patience game. Wait for it, but don't wait forever. Apply within 48 to 72 hours of getting a referral or the role might be gone. Bucket 3, cold emailing. This is the most underused strategy and this is exactly why it works. Most people send a LinkedIn message because it's the path of least friction. One click, copy paste the message and done. That's also why it's saturated. Cold email takes effort. Finding the right email, writing a targeted note, attaching your resume and sending 2 follow-ups. Most people won't do it all, and which is exactly why when you do it, you will stand out. Keep the cold email short, 3 to 4 bullet points on why you are a perfect fit for that role and a link to your LinkedIn or attached resume. Don't expect a reply. Cold emails are for visibility so that the hiring manager or recruiter knows you have applied and recalls your name. Follow up twice, 2 to 3 days apart. If there's no response after that, move on. Who do you email? Use LinkedIn Premium's actively hiring filter. It surfaces people who are currently posting about open roles. These are people you know are hiring. That's your target. Get their email using Apollo, Rocket Reach, or just Google the company's email syntax. Best time to send: Tuesday or Wednesday before noon. Bucket 4, LinkedIn filters. Use the search bar with hiring in quotes plus the role you want. Filter by company if you're targeting a specific organization. These filters show you live posts from people who are actively hiring, which means you exactly know who to reach out to. You don't need all 4 buckets to be at 100%, but someone who is at 60% in all 4 buckets is going to outperform someone who is at 90% in just one. So these were the 4 main buckets to increase your chances of getting an interview call. Now let's look at the 3 biggest mistakes that prevent you from getting that interview call. Mistake number 1, starting too late. Most students wait until they're close to graduation before applying. Don't. Start at least 6 to 8 months before graduation, not because recruiters will hire you immediately, but because you need time to figure out which roles are getting you callbacks, which strategies are working for you, and what your resume needs to look like at its best. The first few months are data collection, the last 2 are execution. Mistake number 2, comparing your strategy to someone else's. Cold emailing might work for a person with 3 years of work experience and terribly for a fresher. Someone else's referral rate might not match yours. Track your own data. If 60% of your callbacks are coming from one strategy, double down on that strategy. Don't abandon what's working for you because it doesn't look like what someone else is doing. Mistake number 3, dropping a strategy too early. Cold emailing for 2 months and getting no response does not mean cold emailing doesn't work. It might mean the market was bad for those 2 months. It might mean your emails weren't getting targeted. It might mean your follow-ups weren't happening. No strategy has a deadline. The strategy ends when you get a job. 8 months, that's how long some people take. And those 8 months aren't going to be easy. You're managing education loan pressure, family expectations, watching people around you get offers and questioning every decision that you took to go to that country. That anxiety is real and that it affects everyone who goes through it. One thing that helps us, stop thinking I need a job. Think I need an interview, because getting an interview is a task. It's something you can actually control. Getting a job is an outcome. You can't control outcomes, you can control tasks. And one last thing, you can control the work authorization rules of the country you are in, whether that is OPT and H1B in the US, the graduate route visa in the UK, the PGWP in the Canada, or the post-study work visa in Australia. You knew those restrictions existed even before you got onto the plane. Spending energy on what you can't control, energy taken away from what you can. Your preparation, your targeting, your networking, and your consistency. You signed up for the uncertainty. There's an ROI attached to it. That's why you came. So do the work, control you can, and keep going until you get that one success that solves it all. If you want us to review your specific profile, your resumes, your target roles, your overall positioning, drop a comment or reach out to us directly. We'll tell you exactly where you stand and what needs to improve. Links are in the description. Remember the student we talked about at the start who thought 2 years of work experience in India would carry them to the US job market? The ones who make it there aren't the ones who had the most experience. They are the ones who understood the market they are walking into and adjusted faster than everyone else. That could be you. Let that sink in. Till then, I'll see you on the next one.